Hey guys, welcome back to All Things Ocean. In this video, I just wanted to quickly share an experience that I had at a local beach here last summer. What started off as a fun day at the beach with my kids turned out to be a horrible evening that night, and the pain and discomfort lasted for 1 to 2 weeks afterwards, all because of this particular visit to this particular beach. I'm not saying it's just this beach, but you know, there's lots of beaches that have these things that you need to just really be aware of, and I wasn't so much, and trust me, I will be now going to any coastal line area. So my kids and I went to Point Roberts Beach one day in Washington, which is right across the border from us, just south of Tawasin in Delta, BC. We go there sometimes because the beach there is just super quiet. There's hardly anyone ever there. They have a nice sense of calm there. It's very laid back. It's so small town, and it's just a great place to go with the kids, you know, because there's not too many people there. And we went to Lighthouse Park, which is their local beach area there, and we've been there before. It's not the first time we'd ever gone there. So we were there for maybe about an hour or so, and I had my tripod set up and I was just kind of doing my thing, and the kids were doing their thing. Now the kids were wearing rain boots, pants, and a tank top. I was wearing a tank top with capris and flip-flops. So, I mean, it was a pretty nice day. It wasn't super hot, but it was a nice warm enough day that you could wear that. Didn't think anything of it. So I go and I set up my camera and I'm doing my thing and the kids are playing. We stayed there about 45 minutes and we packed up and then we went home. Later that evening, my legs and my feet just started to itch a little bit. And I thought, oh, I must have got some mosquito bites or something. So I started just kind of scratching a little bit because they were kind of bugging me a little. When I woke up the next morning, my feet and my lower legs, like probably from, you know, like mid-calf, I'd say, down to the top of my feet, basically, were so itchy and so uncomfortable. I can't stress enough, and I could not stop scratching. I mean, it was the most intense scratchy feeling that I've ever had in my life. Just, I couldn't stop scratching. It was awful. This can't be mosquito bites. Like, what the heck is this? Like, it was way worse than a mosquito bite. Over the next day or two, it just kept progressing and progressing, and I noticed there was more and more and more and more and more and more little red dots everywhere, all over my legs and my feet, and I thought, oh my god, like, what is this? They weren't mosquito bites. I knew they were not mosquito bites. My kids, thankfully, were fine because they had rain boots and pants on, so they were totally fine. They didn't have anything on their arms or anything like that. I didn't have anything anywhere else either. It was just from mid-calf down to the tops of my feet. So I did a little bit of research and I came to the conclusion that I completely got attacked by sand fleas, also known as beach fleas. I have never been bitten like this before anywhere in my life. It was horrendous. I'm gonna throw some pictures for you right now, so just be forewarned, it's a little graphic and it's not pretty, and you'll also notice 2 bigger bites that I had on my one leg, which happened a week before that. Those were actually 2 spider bites that I got up in Whistler, BC, when I was doing a shoot up there a week prior to that. My legs were not looking pretty last summer. Here's some pictures for you guys. So you'll see the progression in the next few images that I'm gonna pop up here for you guys. It started off as just kind of a milder case, and then it progressed into something really severe. After about 3 or 4 days, I did actually go to the doctor to find out, you know, is this something I should be really worried about, because this was the burning. Oh my god. The burning, the itch was horrendous. It was so bad, you guys. I can't even stress enough how horrible it was. I would not wish this upon anyone. No one. It was awful. And you know what? This was in like June last summer when this happened. So, you know, it was pretty warm outside and people wear flip-flops and capris and shorts and all that stuff. And this is what my legs looked like at that time of year. Great. It was not fun at all. So I went to the doctor after about 3 or 4 days and he had to look. He said, well, clearly your body has had a bad reaction to these bites. So I asked him if he thought they were sand fleas or whatnot, and he said it's really impossible to know, but it's probably what it is, yes, because at that time of year, There's tons of them out in those coastal areas, especially where it's really wet and the tide comes and goes all the time. They just love those types of environments. And I said, is this a typical reaction? Like, do most people have reactions like this? And he said, not really. Yay me, I was so lucky. He said, yeah, they sure loved your blood. I was like, thanks, yeah, that's great. So he had said it will take a little bit of time to go away, but just keep an eye on it. If it seems to keep getting worse and worse and worse, then come back in a few days or whatever. Nothing was helping much with the itch. The doctor had recommended to just take some Benadryl, antihistamines, things like that. So I did that. It helped a tiny bit, but not a whole lot. I decided to actually go to a natural food store to see if they had any recommendations. They did recommend this product here. It's called Earth's Care Anti-Itch Cream. It's natural camphor and menthol, proven itch relief for minor skin irritations, insect bites, and sunburn. They said, oh yeah, a lot of people love this. They said that this was supposed to be really good. A lot of people swore by this and everything else. So I thought, okay, well, you know what? I'll give it a try and see. I took this stuff and I slathered it on my legs and my feet, and quite honestly, it didn't help a whole heck of a lot. It helped a little, but not a ton. So I didn't really use too much more of that. It took probably about 8 or 9 days for it to finally start settling down a little bit, and the redness started to fade just a little bit each day, and it was so painfully slow to get rid of. It took pretty much close to about 2 weeks to get rid of this. I don't know why my body just reacted horribly to these sand fleas. So I want to just pull up a little information from the Orkin website. Orkin. Okay, so I thought they must know their bugs, right? So it says itchy bites and welts received at beaches, marshes, and other coastal areas often come from sand fleas. There are many creatures called sand fleas by people at the beach, but true sand fleas are actually crustaceans, not insects, and cause no harm to humans or pets. No harm? Seriously? In some areas, these critters are called beach fleas. Since sand fleas eat seaweed, they are most likely to be found in large numbers where sea vegetation is washed up on the beach. Okay, let me tell you, Point Roberts had a ton of seaweed the day that we went there. No offense to Point Roberts, we'll still go there again for sure, but I'm gonna make sure my feet and legs are covered up next time. So another site that had some pretty good information on sand fleas was tripsavvy.com. So I'll put the link for TripSavvy and Orkin down in the description too if you want to read up a little bit more on it, because there's more information than what I can really cover in the video. They say sand fleas are known by several names, including sand flies, beach fleas, sand gnats, hopalongs, punkies, or very appropriate no-see-um given their tiny size. It says their sand flea bites on humans are normally found in clusters around the ankles, arms, and back. So if you're sitting or laying on a beach, okay, if you're laying on the beach, makes you a prime target because these buggers don't ever fly or jump higher than a few feet off the ground. Oh, am I ever glad though none of us were laying on the beach that day, because oh my god, I couldn't imagine if you were getting these bites like on your arms or back or neck or I couldn't even imagine. Oh my god. So now it says here, despite the sand flea's small size, the bite from one can cause a large welt or rash that can persist for days. Welts or hives produced from the bites are itchy and painful, but scratching bitten areas should be avoided. Yeah, like that's gonna happen, as irritating the skin will prolong the symptoms and open wounds caused by scratching can become infected. I know it's so easy to say, well, just don't scratch it. Okay, well, you know what? Unless you've actually had this and you've tried antihistamines, the anti-itch creams, all that kind of stuff, it's pretty hard to not scratch it. So TripSavvy also says tips for preventing these sand flea bites. Wear DEET insect repellent and reapply regularly throughout the day, especially on high target areas like the feet and ankles. I personally don't like to use chemical sprays on me, but to each his own. Avoid the beach in the early morning at dusk or when there's cloud cover and the beach is cooler, since that's when sand fleas tend to come out the most. Okay, I have to argue that one, because when I went with my kids that day, we went in the middle of the day. It was like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. No clouds, it was bright, sunny, the warmest part of the day pretty much, and they were rampant all over the beach. Windy days are better beach days for avoiding sand fleas since they aren't strong flyers. Head to the beach later in the morning or early in the afternoon when sand fleas are less active. Again, not true for us that day at all. If you're on the beach at prime sand flea hours, keep moving. They're not very fast, but will swarm you if you linger too long. Okay, so I was doing some photography and I was standing with a tripod. So I really wasn't moving that much, which is probably why they loved me being there. Cover your feet, ankles, and calves whenever possible. Keep windows and doors shut at night if you're staying near the beach. Sand fleas can sometimes fit through screens. That's how tiny they are. If you're looking for them at the beach, look closely because they're tiny, tiny, but you can't see them if they're jumping everywhere. So on Trip Savvy, they also say how to treat sand flea bites. If you do get bitten, there are a few steps you can take to soothe the irritation. Much like with other minor bug bites, sand flea bites can be treated with calamine or hydrocortisone cream. Actually didn't try either one of those. I should have tried calamine lotion. I didn't even think about it. Ice compresses, a colloidal oatmeal bath, or aloe vera. I tried aloe vera. For me, it didn't do anything. Antihistamines can help ease itching, and ibuprofen can alleviate pain. And take that with a grain of salt too, because everyone reacts differently. The aloe vera didn't work for me, but it might work for you. Everyone's going to react differently. Not everyone is going to get a reaction to sand flea bites like I did. The doctor even said that my case was pretty extreme, that most cases aren't quite that bad. So in no way am I making this video to deter you guys from going to any coastal areas. It's not going to deter me, and we still go to the beach all the time too when we can. But I am a little more careful, that's all, when I go now. I make sure that my feet and legs are covered up. If I see any little fleas jumping everywhere, you better believe I'm gonna cover myself up next time, and I'll make sure my kids are covered up too, for sure. They're not gonna stop us from going to the beach. It's the ocean. You can't not go there, especially when you live right by it like we do. It's just part of your life, you just enjoy it, and it's meant to be enjoyed. So don't not go somewhere just because of that fear of that happening. I will still keep going to the beach for the rest of my life. This is not going to stop me. So I'll just cover myself up next time, that's all. So that does it for this video, you guys. It's just some quick info I really wanted to put out there for you. I just don't want anyone else going through what I went through with this. Just be careful if you're going into any of these wet, damper coastal regions and coastal areas. By all means, go and enjoy the beach, but just be careful and have a look at the ground, and take a second look and make sure you're not seeing all these little sand fleas or whatever, or anything else really that's jumping up and everything like that. They're kind of hard to spot, but you can see them, and they're pretty jumpy. They can jump pretty high and get you good. And please, especially if you have young ones, if you've got little kids, please make sure they're covered up. Just make sure they've got shoes, socks, like full-length pants. And I get it, I know it's hot and you want to wear flip-flops and whatever, but if you're gonna wear that stuff, if you're gonna let your kids wear that stuff, be really cautious and look at the sand, and just make sure that you're not seeing all these little jumpy fleas and stuff everywhere, because let me tell you, you guys, it was such a horrible experience, and I would never want anyone going through that, especially a little kid. It was unbearable for me as an adult. I can only imagine a little kid having a bad reaction like that and having to deal with that for 2 weeks. No, please, no, don't do that to them. Now, what I would like to know from you guys is, has anyone out there had an experience like this, or something else? Anything that's, something that you wouldn't really think of happening at the beach like that with the environment, something like an animal or a critter, an insect or whatever. Have you experienced something that was just gross and just unbearable? If there's any knowledge that you can share, throw it in the comments below so that other people can be more cautious too. If this is your first time visiting this channel, thank you for stopping by. And if you think anyone else that might like this video, please share it with them. And give the video a like, give it a thumbs up too, because that will help support and grow the channel too, which I'd really appreciate since this is a new channel. If you would like to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. Just don't forget to hit the bell notification too, so you get the pop-ups that tell you that there's a new video to watch. Hope to see you again soon, and hope to have you come back to the channel, watch more videos in the future. Thank you, we'll see you next time.